There was this one kid in our school who grew facial hair way too early, and we started calling him Harry McClary. He was one of my good friends, so I thought it was a joke. But one day he comes up to me, he's like, Finn, like, I don't think you realize this, but it's really irritating me. Like, you're being really mean to me. And for a second, I was like, oh, my bad, bro, my bad, I'll stop. And I didn't stop. I did it one more time. But the next time I did it, he just looked at me, he was like, what the hell, man? He was so disappointed. You could see it in his eyes, and he just avoided me for like maybe half a week. And then after that, I went up to him myself, and I said, yo, I'm sorry for doing it. I'm not going to do it anymore. And I didn't. That's when I realized that when you like confront somebody politely and you also like give them some distance, they end up treating you so much better after you just give them that little break. In this video, I'm going to also talk about like intense bullying, but I want to talk about like more strategies for, your daily life when that guy's being a dickhead or you're getting picked on. And a lot of the time it's not like full on bullying, but if it is, like, I guess I have some sense of experience in that area, and I'm going to get into that. I'm Finn, and I help young guys make really good friends. I do have a step-by-step like guide on how I achieve this, but if you're interested and you trust me enough, click the link in the description. I have a course. This guy, I was in the same boarding house as him, in the same rugby team as him, and in all of the same classes as him. And he kept making these jokes. And I tried the method, like, bro, like, I really don't appreciate when you do it. But he just kept doing it over and over. And like, yeah, of course, if I understood these methods a little bit better, maybe he would have done it less. But this was a case of this guy just wouldn't stop. Like, he just had some kind of problem with me. He just kept fucking going. So I realized that sometimes people will have something deeper that leads them to do certain things. And the interesting thing about this guy is he was like kind of pretending to be friends with me, which is why it hurt so much, because he was also like hating on me, talking shit about me to everybody, clowning on me. But I realized after some time, because somebody brought up this video of him getting beat up in like year 8. That's when I realized and I asked, what happened to him? He got really badly bullied, like probably way worse than me when he was younger. And the difference is I stood up for myself. So obviously my thing came to an end. His school, he just had to leave. It was so bad. And, maybe he did stand up for himself and they kept going. And in that scenario, all you can do is this one tactic. I used this once when I hit like rock bottom in a sense, because at my school, I was hated. I was working hard in the gym, and I was getting good grades, but socially, I was just the outcast. And that's all that mattered in my mind for like the longest time. Even now, the most important thing to me is being valued by my friends, or one of the most important things. And so when this guy was destroying my reputation, destroying my pride slowly but surely every single day, making my life hell. He was also the best rugby player in our team, and I was fucking horrible, and I wanted to be good, and I would train way harder than him, and it would embarrass me that he wouldn't like do half that shit, but he would still go further. Then I went to this conversation with my dad and his best friend. For some backstory, my dad is brown. I know I look like really fucking white. I tan. But my dad, he grew up in India till he was 11. Then he went to UK and Australia. And in the UK, he faced some fucked racism from like the age of 11 till 16. You know how school bullying is, especially if you're a brown guy back then, it's pretty fucking horrible. So I asked him and his best friend, who also went to school in the UK, what do you do? And at first, they were just telling me some stupid, like some light shit. They're just like, oh, you just need to be funny, just stand up for yourself. But I said, like, no, this guy just won't stop. Like, he just won't. He won't stop. That's when, I'm going to fast forward. I ended up making this guy, like, cry by himself. I don't think he'd ever admit it out loud. But I was in his head for at least a week straight. The one time I finally felt like, fuck this guy. He's done all that to me. And now I'm not going to, sit around and cop shit and be nice to him anyways. I'm not the fucking bigger man, bro. Fuck that. That's the worst advice you'll ever hear in your life. I am very nice to him, and I'm very forgiving. And I actually like him nowadays. It took 2 years for that to happen, and it's ruining the story. But at that time, he was my number one op, bro. He was the fucking biggest dickhead ever. And the best approach is to make them feel like some kind of pain that you're feeling. Drag them down with you. In class, when I would sit down and he would like make a really mean joke about me, or maybe it wasn't even that bad, but like in general, he was a dickhead to me. So I just started treating every single little thing he said to me as like really bad. And he'd be like, "Oh, why are you sitting here? I'm just taking a fucking seat in the classroom." So I go like, I basically yell in front of the whole class, embarrass myself, but make sure he was fucking feeling that embarrassment with me. It's like, wow, yeah, can I not sit here? Is there a problem? I'll make it a super big deal. And at that was a really fucking hard week because the first time I started doing it, he got really pissed off at me and started being an even bigger dick. But after a few days, he started like getting scared to be around me because every time he said something, I would just like fucking make a scene, bro, for no reason. He'd be like, "Oh, you're so shit at rugby." I'd be like, "Why are you always being mean to me? Why are you like screaming in front of everybody and being dramatic?" And you know what? No one else will fucking tell you because no one else cares. No one else is going through anything where they're like, nobody likes them, that kind of experience. Everyone say, just be the bigger man is the dumbest advice ever, bro. Never be the bigger man. Fuck it. Fuck being the bigger man. Defend yourself. You can be a nice guy after they stop bullying you. Fuck being nice while they're bullying you. I'm pretty passionate about this topic, but what I wanted to talk about is how after I went through this phase of this like really hard year, it may have just been everybody being a cunt to me on a smaller scale, and then 2 to 3 guys being like a big ass dickhead to me on like a large scale. And this guy was one of them. And what I realized is most people actually just kind of like join in with the fun. They don't actually have bad intentions. They're just making fun of you because it's funny. It's just a good laugh to them. But when that was added upon the 3 guys who like really fucking despised me, or just in general, a lot of people hated me, that's when the damage was felt from me, from my side. The reason I got bullied is because, or like by these guys, is because I was an easy target at the time. I was like putting myself out there a lot, and they thought that I was easy, and I was at first. But they stopped when they found out I wasn't easy and that I would stand up for myself. If you want to like speak to me about this, you go to my link in the description. You can book a free call with me. And honestly, if you're being bullied, I feel for you, bro. I feel for you. I mean, I didn't even get like bashed after school every day or anything really bad. So I honestly don't even know what it's like for some people who might be having it worse than me. But I know like the concept of how I got over it. And in a way, mine was more mental, and I don't want to take away from myself that was a really hard time, because it truly was. When everybody is like slandering you 24/7, every single place you go, you're treated like shit. You don't go home, because I was at a boarding school. I was always there. I was always the joke. And that is what like really, really got in my mind. And so I totally understand if you're going through something like that. But in the real world, once you get over these insecurities, what I realized is for a year, I was extra insecure. When people would just make a joke about me that I would laugh at now, back then I would like overreact again, because I was, in a sense, maybe traumatized isn't the right word, but I was still overreacting because that's how I learned to deal with the last situation where I was getting like quite badly mentally bullied. But then in the second situation where there was just somebody cracking a fucking joke and I was being a bit of a soft cunt, then I would overreact again. And that's not the way. You don't want to be that soft dude. You want to be that chill dude who everyone like respects. But to be like that chill, like for people to be that close with you, then a lot of the time, you're going to have to be fine with the joke coming back to you. I was making fun of my friend for being fat the other day, because like we've had this conversation, like he wants to get in the gym, he wants to lose weight. And yeah, like I violated him, but the thing is, bro, he violated me back. He's like, "Yeah, well, at least you," or something like, "Oh, your drip is shit," or whatever, bro. But he made a joke back about me. And the point that I'm making here is, if you want to be that guy that people, that one dude who's just super chill and everybody just wants him there all the time. Like, "Oh, I just want that guy there because he's so nice, he's funny." Like, you just want him there. I feel like I've truly come into that spot of just like being that guy in a sense. Like people, just my friend group at least, they invite me to everything they're doing. And the point that I'm making here, I keep getting like sidetracked. I've got a lot of ideas on my mind for this topic. Oh, when you're insecure, oh sorry, if you need to be able to take a joke back and to be criticized yourself. Otherwise, you're just one of those hypocrites, bro. You know those guys who like call everybody out, but then they get super offended when someone makes a joke about them? Yeah, dude, that's like no one likes that kind of company, bro. So one thing that I want to say though is if you're not fine with a specific joke, you should like push to be more chill with more things. But if it's truly bothering you, like for example, this is a good story. I was at dinner with like six of my mates, and this good mate of mine, I told him something in private. I asked him not to do it. And to him, it didn't seem like a big deal. But to me, it was. Now, I'm not going to fucking stop being friends with somebody I love so like that much. He's such a good mate of mine. Just over some dumb shit he said. But I'm not going to fucking be friends with somebody who keeps fucking bringing up something I'm really, really like insecure about. So he brought this up in front of like six other people and he was joking about it. And I fucking, I'm not even joking, 5 minutes, I was like, no, say sorry. Like, say sorry. That's not all right. I told you that in private. I was grilling him because I wasn't going to let that shit slide. Because if I let that slide, it's going to keep happening. But he stopped. He apologized and he hasn't done it since. Because if you let the smallest things slide that actually bother you, like, yeah, if he said, oh, you fat cunt or something to me like that, yeah, whatever, bro, I'm not fat, like, or even when I was kind of fat, like, it's just a joke in some sense. But something that was, like, personal that I told him in private and he fucking vioed me, then I'm gonna say to him, like, that's not all right. And if I didn't do that, then it's not his fault that he's being a dickhead. It's my fault that I'm not standing up for myself. Because people just need guidance on how they like need to treat you. Because a lot of the time, to him, it wasn't even a big deal. To me, it was. Everything changes between perspective. And you just got to put your foot down sometimes. And the thing is, bro, when you say to somebody, look, I'm sorry, bro, I really didn't appreciate that. Like, I told you that privately. Like, please don't do that again. And they say, like, they laugh at you. And then you give them a bit of distance. You take some distance. And then the next time they see you, they're like still joking about how you're being soft. And you still say like, no, but bro, like you really offended me. If they keep doing this for a long period of time, just bin them off, bro. Because it's not about what they did or what they said that wasn't fine. It's about them. It's about when you say like, oh, that really offended me. And then you still, like they still keep going. Like if you say to somebody, yo, that was wrong. Like, why'd you do that? And you say it and you give them some distance, you give some time to think about it, you don't like hang out with them, you don't pretend everything's fine. You actually let them know, like you fucked me off by saying that. Then what's gonna happen is they're either gonna say, yeah, bro, I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to offend you, and say like, oh, I didn't realize it was a big deal. Or they're gonna be, or if they're a dickhead, they'll say like, nah, it doesn't even matter, you're being soft, like those are some shit friends, bro. Bin them off ASAP. Because if they're not gonna respect something small that's so easy to say sorry over, then how are they gonna accept something really big that offends you? What if like one of them thinks it's fine to go and like hang out with your girl and like flirt with her and shit? Like there's scales to this, of course, but when you let the smallest thing slide, it keeps getting bigger and bigger. You always got to stand up for yourself early if it's important, and if you can tell it's important. But on a side note, bro, don't be too soft. Like that's just social skills. When you're going out in your life and everything someone says offends you, like don't be soft, bro. Like when people make jokes about my race, I don't give a fuck, bro. It's just a joke. Like it may not be a really like horrible joke, like someone screaming the N-word. Like maybe that's not funny, but like I don't think that's being too soft. When I say soft, it's like a stereotype that people can laugh at in common. That's not like racism. That's just humor, bro. And if you have no humor, then it's gonna be hard to be that super social guy who everybody really wants to be. You gotta get a sense of humor, bro. You gotta be easygoing, like really easygoing. Easygoing is like the golden social skills like lesson, bro. Just be chill. I mean, I remember that meme. It was like, just be a chill guy. That is low-key amazing social skills advice. And as long as you also talk and you can also like have conversations and make jokes, you know? The last thing I want to say is when you're in public, don't even bother standing up for yourself because, I mean, like, stand up for yourself in a weird way. Like, what I mean by that is I was out by myself walking to meet my friends, and this was like somewhat nightlife. This was a while ago. And this was when I was a bit skinnier. And this guy goes like, I'm talking to these two guys. One of them's drunk, and they said, "Oh, come here." They're like, "What do you do?" "Oh, I'm a boxer. I'm boxing a bit." And this guy's like, "You're not a fucking boxer. I'll fucking fuck you up." Like, I just looked at him and I was like, "Have a good night." I don't give a fuck. Because why does your opinion matter? In the real world, nobody's opinion matters. Like, people's opinions don't matter equally. I don't mean to offend anybody, but I'd rather fucking listen to somebody who's going really far in their life, people really like them, than some dickhead on the street who I don't know anything about. And so all I did was I just said, "Oh, have a good one," and I walked away. In hindsight, yeah, maybe I was skinny. Like, oh, maybe I didn't look like a boxer. I could have, there's skinny boxers, by the way. But like, the point that I'm making here is, I can see how he could have made that assumption, but he was a fucking asshole. What kind of loser would say that? Like, why are you just starting a fight with somebody who's so nice to you? So, in that situation, it's on the street. Only because you're never going to see him again, don't even bother, like, saying anything. Don't even bother, bro. It's whatever. And the last thing, oh yeah, one mini point. If you're getting really badly bullied, maybe a strategy I thought of, I never really did this. If you're a boxer or something, just invite the guy who's bullying you to your boxing gym. Say, "Okay, we'll spar in my boxing gym. You know, there's a coach there to break it up." And like, you call him out in front of everybody. You'll be embarrassed to say no. You just say you don't want to get in trouble. Or, I mean, it may work differently in private public schools. In public schools, I'm pretty sure it's just a fucking on. Like, people just punch each other in the middle of lunch hole, bro. But I don't see why this strategy wouldn't work if you're getting really badly bullied, because the fuck is the point of going through life where every day everyone treats you so badly? Thank you for watching my video. If you want my full guide on like making really good quality friends, building the dream social life, click the link in the description, or even book that free call. I don't mind. I'm very interested in helping my audience grow as people. Have a great day, bro. Love.